All right, so we're going to talk about adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So the steps are really similar, except for the first one. So you have to convert the mixed numbers into improper fractions. So convert the mixed numbers into improper fractions, and we'll review how to do that. And then you have to get common denominators. Okay, once you get common denominators, then it's the same thing, right? Add or subtract the numerators. And then from there, you simplify. And remember, simplifying means really to put in simplest form or into mixed numbers. Okay, so let's review how to, all right, so pause right there if you need the steps, but I'm going to keep on going. So we have to practice how to make mixed numbers into improper fractions. And we do that by multiplying our denominator times our whole number and then adding our numerator. So we're going to do 6 times 2, which is 12, plus 5. 12 plus 5 is 17. And then our denominator stays what it is. So it should be 17 over 6. Okay, so again, we multiply our denominator by our whole number and then add our numerator. So we are going to do this. There's a couple of different things you could do in some of these cases, especially once we have common denominators. So let's look at that for a second. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this. I'm going to show you the harder way first, and the one that you're going to have to do when you have different denominators, so uncommon denominators. You have to turn these into improper fractions. So 2 times 9 is 18. 18 plus 4 is 22 over 9. 9 times 1 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11 over 9. So you'd get 2 mixed numbers, and then you add them because it says add, and you get 33 over 9, which then we'd have to figure out how many times does 9 go into 33? Well, 9 multiples are 9, 18, 27, 36. So it goes 3 times with what's 33 minus 27 is 6 over 9. We can simplify 6 9s, divide them both by 3. So it'd be 3 2/3. Okay. The other way we could have done this is looking at 2 and 4. That's too big. Sorry, give me a sec. 2 and 4 9s plus 1 and 2 9s is that we could just add our whole numbers. 2 plus 1 gives me 3. And then because these are common denominators of 9, we could just add up the numerators. 4 plus 2 is 6 over 9, and then again simplify. So that only works if they're common denominators. If they're not common denominators, then you have to do it the top way. Okay, so I'm going to show you, I'm just going to, for these next 2 examples, I'm going to do one more with you, and then I'm going to have you do C on your own. Okay, and I'm just going to do it the bottom way. So I'm going to look, because I know they're common denominators, I'm just going to do my whole numbers. 8 minus 5. 8 minus 5 is 3. And then what's 7 minus 5? 7 minus 5 is 2 over 12. Can we simplify 2 and 12? You have to divide them both by 2, right? So we'd get 3 1/6. All right, I want you to pause and try C for me. So looking at this one, it's a negative plus a positive. Remember, when we have opposite signs, we really subtract them. So I might rewrite it because it's fractions and they're hard, right? So that way I know I do 7 minus 3, 4. 3 minus 2, 1. Okay, so again, this only works if you have common denominators already. So you're not always going to be given common denominators or even the same. You might be given a whole number, like example 4a. So when that's the case, then we have to figure some things out. Okay, so because we are adding an a, we're just going to do the same thing and add our whole numbers. What's 4 plus 2? 4 plus 2 is 6. And then we have this 3/4, so it just comes on down. But there's something a little different with subtraction. Because if I have 9 pieces and I'm taking away 1 4/6, I have to kind of make that a little nicer to deal with, right? So I'm going to take this 9 and turn it into an 8. I'm going to borrow 1, right? So I'm going to take that extra 1, that would make it 9, and turn it into a fraction and make it 6 add a 6. And I chose 6 because the denominator over here is 6. So again, remember that 6 over 6 equals 1, and then 8 plus 1 gives us 9, right? So that's kind of, we just turn that 9 into 8 and then a 6 over 6. So that way we can still subtract the 1 4/6. So now I could do 8 minus 1, which is 7, and then 6 minus 4, which is 2/6, and then simplify that to 7 1/3. Okay, so again, because we're subtracting, we have to borrow 1. Okay. I want you to try C, but I'm going to warn you, C is kind of tricky. So pause and try C for me. All right, so I rewrote it. So it's 2 5/6 minus 6. And remember, we have to change that 6 into 5 and a 6 over 6. So then you're doing 2 minus 5, which is -3, and then 5 minus 6, which will be that -1. So it's -3 1/6. Okay, so again, those are all ones that we either turned into common denominators or we had common denominators. These last examples are ones that we don't have common denominators. So you're going to have to make them into improper, then find common denominators, and then add or subtract. So these ones are going to get a little complicated, and you're going to have to do some side math. So be ready to do some side math. Okay. So the first thing we're going to have to turn this into a mixed number. So 5 plus 3, 15. 15 plus 3 is 18 over 5 minus 1/4. We don't have common denominators, so we need to find them. 5 and 4. Think of multiples of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So they both can go into 20. 5 times what gives me 20? 5 times 4. We have to figure out what 18 times 4 is. Okay, so you should be able to figure that out. 8 times 4 is 2, carry the 3, 4 times 1 plus 3 is 7, so 72. And then 4 times what gives me 20? 4 times 5. And then 1 times 5 is 5. And then, now we have common denominators. So then we figure out, we just subtract our numerator. So what is 72 minus 5? 6, 12, 7, 6. So it'd be 67 over 20. How many times does 20 go into 67? Well, 20. 20, 40, 60, 80. So it goes 3 times with 7 left over. Okay. I want you to try B and unpause every couple seconds because I'll be showing my work intermittently. Okay, first thing I did was keep change chains. That way I have plus 2 negatives. And then I made them improper. And I got 7/3 and 9/5. And then I need to figure out, okay, what do they go into? So I figured out they both go into 15. Now I'm going to add my numerators. They're the same sign, so I add and keep. So I'm figuring out what that is and then simplify. When I added them up, I got 62 over 15, which is 4 2/15. All right, so I want you to try C on your own. Try C on your own. All right, hopefully you got 7 over 30. If you didn't, check my work, but otherwise ask me for help in class.